When we speak about energy in meditation, we usually inherit the word before we inherit the experience. Most people come to meditation already carrying borrowed meanings. Energy sounds powerful, mysterious, maybe even supernatural. Some imagine light moving up the spine, some imagine cosmic force. Some imagine nothing at all and quietly doubt the whole thing. So let us slow down and place the idea back into a living context. Because meditation was never meant to be an abstract concept. It was always meant to be lived, felt, and tested inside the ordinary human system you are already in. The context is simple. A human being sits still. The body is no longer running, chasing, reacting. The mind, used to constant movement, suddenly finds fewer distractions. In this stillness, something becomes noticeable that was always there but drowned out by noise. Sensations sharpen. Emotions rise and fall more clearly. Breath becomes obvious. Awareness feels more intimate. This entire shift in inner perception is what traditions began calling energy. Not because they wanted to confuse you, but because language had to stretch to describe an experience that did not fit ordinary categories. Now a question naturally arises. If energy is not electricity, not fantasy, and not blind belief, then what exactly is moving or changing during meditation? Is something actually flowing, or is this just a poetic way of describing attention and sensation? And more importantly, why does this experience feel so real, so tangible, sometimes even overwhelming? These questions matter because without clarity, people either exaggerate the experience or dismiss it entirely. Both miss the point. Most of our assumptions come from extremes. One assumption says energy is a mystical substance that only advanced practitioners can feel. Another assumption says it is imaginary, a placebo created by suggestion. Both assumptions collapse under honest observation. You do not need to believe in anything to notice warmth in the hands when you relax deeply. You do not need faith to feel heaviness in the chest when emotion surfaces. You do not need a philosophy to observe that attention placed in one area intensifies experience there. These are not beliefs, these are facts of direct perception. Another hidden assumption is that meditation creates energy. This is misleading. Meditation does not manufacture anything new, it removes interference. It is closer to cleaning a dirty window than installing a new one. When effort, resistance, and mental noise reduce, the system returns to its natural regulation. What you experience as energy is the body-mind returning to coherence. It feels like flow because obstruction is dissolving. Once we drop these assumptions, a structure begins to reveal itself. Human experience is layered. There is the physical layer of muscles, breath, posture, and nerve signals. There is the emotional layer of feelings, moods, and impulses. There is the cognitive layer of thoughts, images, and interpretations. And beneath all of this, there is awareness itself, the simple fact of being conscious. Meditation gradually aligns these layers. When alignment improves, experience feels smooth, unified, and alive. That felt aliveness is what gets labeled as energy. Attention is the organizing principle here. Wherever attention rests, neural activity increases, sensory clarity improves, and emotional tone shifts. This is not philosophy. This is observable in both contemplative practice and neuroscience. When attention stabilizes, the nervous system exits survival mode. Breath slows, muscles soften, heart rhythm becomes more coherent. Signals that were once chaotic become synchronized. Subjectively, this synchronization feels like inner movement or vibration. Objectively, it is regulation. Breath plays a functional role here. Breath is one of the few systems that is both automatic and voluntary. You do not need to breathe consciously, yet you can change it instantly. This makes breath the bridge between conscious intention and unconscious regulation. When breath becomes slow and even, the vagus nerve is stimulated, calming the system. As calm deepens, sensations previously ignored become aware. Energy has not appeared, awareness has simply widened.
The idea of energy centers emerges from this functional mapping. Certain areas of the body carry dense emotional and symbolic meaning due to development, conditioning, and survival patterns. The belly often holds fear and control. The chest holds attachment, grief, and love. The throat relates to expression and inhibition. The head relates to identity and interpretation. When meditation brings attention to these zones, sensations intensify and emotions release. Describing these zones as centers of energy is a practical shorthand, not a metaphysical claim. Functionally, energy language helps practitioners navigate inner experience without getting trapped in analysis. Saying there is tight energy in the chest is sometimes more useful than saying there is unresolved grief interacting with autonomic activation and memory recall. One is experiential, the other is explanatory. Meditation operates in the experiential domain first. Insight follows later. However, every framework has limits, and energy language is no exception. The biggest danger is reification, turning a description into a thing. When people start chasing energy, forcing movement, or measuring progress by sensations, meditation becomes another performance. Sensations come and go. Tingling does not mean awakening. Stillness does not mean stagnation. Energy experiences are side effects, not goals. Another limit is cultural overlay. Different traditions describe energy differently, and practitioners often confuse maps with territory. One person's rising energy is another person's emotional discharge. One person's bliss is another person's nervous system overstimulation. Without grounding, people misinterpret temporary states as permanent realization. This is why psychological stability, ethical grounding, and daily life integration matter. There is also the risk of avoidance. Some people use energy talk to bypass emotion. They prefer saying energy is blocked rather than admitting I am afraid or I am hurt. Meditation is not meant to anesthetize human experience. It is meant to clarify it. When energy language replaces emotional honesty, growth stalls. Integration is where everything comes together. Energy in meditation is not meant to stay on the cushion. If your meditation is working, your reactions soften, your listening improves, your body feels more at ease in daily life. You respond instead of react more often. Your sense of presence increases. This is energy integrated into living. At the deepest level, energy and awareness stop feeling separate. Movement and stillness coexist. Sensation arises in a background of quiet clarity. You no longer ask where energy is flowing because you are not standing outside the experience anymore. You are inside it, participating without effort. This is not dramatic. It is simple, ordinary, and profoundly sane. So when we speak of energy in meditation, we are really speaking about the intelligence of the human system when it is allowed to function without constant interference. We are speaking about attention learning to rest, emotion learning to move, and awareness learning to trust itself. Nothing supernatural is required. Nothing is denied either. Experience is allowed to speak in its own language. If this perspective resonated with you and you want a deeper, more detailed video on these subjects, comment below and let me know. Share this with someone who might need clarity rather than confusion, and subscribe to the channel for more grounded explorations of mind, meditation, and inner transformation.